If you follow the advice in this video, you're going to have erectile dysfunction for a very long time. How do I know that? Because 12 years ago, I found one of the studies that he references in this video. I came to the same logical conclusion that he came to, and I did all of the things that he recommends to do in this video, and I got no results. And since then, I fully healed my erectile dysfunction, so I now understand that there's a giant hole in the logical thinking that he's using. And so in this video, I'm going to walk you through his video and talk to you about the major problem that he's missing.
And is one of the earliest signs of vascular disease.
Okay, first of all, I hate this statement that erectile dysfunction is the earliest sign of vascular disease because I had a doctor say it to me when I was 27. And although this is technically correct, and it is good to get your heart checked out, if you're 65 and you're overweight and you start experiencing erectile dysfunction, yeah, you might be starting to experience some problems with vascular disease. If you're 25 and you're experiencing erectile dysfunction, it's very unlikely the problem is vascular. So you should just basically use your mind, be logical about this, get checked out. But also, if you get checked out and things are healthy, you need to just move on because it's not a vascular problem.
That's right. If we take a look at your arteries, the inside of the arteries are lined with this single cell layer called the endothelial layer. And so what erectile dysfunction is, it's a problem with the vascular system. That layer.
I personally, from having been obsessed with this problem for the last 14 years, would argue that it is almost never a vascular problem.
Cells is not working correctly. There's certain things in your body that signal the relaxation of your arteries to open up, vasodilate, and allow blood flow. And I'm talking about blood flow into your private parts.
It's so cute to me that he says private parts in a video about erectile dysfunction.
That molecule is called nitric oxide. In animal studies, when they completely blocked nitric oxide, there was a complete failure with erections.
So one of the studies that he's referencing was in 2002. And basically what they did was they created genetically engineered mice that were missing genes that would help them create nitric oxide. And so they weren't able to produce nitric oxide, and so none of them got erections. And then they gave them nitric oxide, and then they were able to restore erection function. So I came to the same exact conclusion that he did, and that many people have come to, and that, oh, I must need more nitric oxide. And so I personally started taking supplements, and I changed my diet. I ate lots of beets, I ate lots of arugula, and what happened was absolutely nothing. And I've talked to a lot of guys who have gone down this route and gotten absolutely no results. And so if you're a guy who has gone down this route or are thinking about going down this route, or if you're noticing that Viagra works inconsistently or not at all, then the thing that you need to understand is there's a big flaw in his logic, which I'm going to use. I've already explained it pretty well in one of my videos, so I'm just going to play that. So I'm going to give you an analogy. How do you make a car go faster? Chances are your first thought was probably just press down the gas pedal. And this is the approach that you've been taking to getting harder erections. But the most efficient way to increase the speed of a car is not actually to put your foot on the gas. It's actually to take your foot off the brake. So if your foot is on the brake, it actually doesn't matter how hard you push the gas pedal. The car won't even move. Even if it moves a little bit, you could never drive on the road while the brake is on, because the brake can overpower the gas, even if you put the gas pedal all the way to the floor. So your body is the same way. You've been looking at how to add gas, but in reality, what you need to do is learn to take your foot off of the brake. That's right. Your body has an erection brake pedal. It's called vasoconstriction, or constriction of the blood vessels that supply blood to the penis. It's the opposite process that your body uses to get an erection. Vasoconstriction is a really important part of the fight or flight mechanism because your body reorganizes blood flow to intentionally add blood flow to places that it needs during a fight, like the muscles, the heart, and the lungs. But it has to take the blood from somewhere because there's only a limited supply. So it takes it from places like the digestive system and the genitals that don't need it during fight or flight. So when fight or flight triggers, your adrenal glands release epinephrine and neuroepinephrine, which tell the alpha-1 receptors that are located in the arteries of the smooth muscle tissue in the corpus cavernosum and the corpus spongiosum to vasoconstrict. And these are the main areas of your penis that need to increase blood supply in order to get an erection. To get an erection, you need the opposite conditions. You need the smooth muscle tissues to expand or vasodilate. So when the brake goes up against the gas, the brake wins. Once again, there's nothing wrong with your body or your penis. It's behaving the way it's supposed to when it's threatened. It's moving blood away from your genitals into things like your heart, your lungs, and your muscles. The reason Viagra works inconsistently or not at all, and the reason that supplements haven't helped you get results, and the reason that you're freaked out about an unfixable physical problem is that everything you've tried to fix this problem has ignored the fact that vasoconstriction will overpower anything that you throw at it. If your body thinks it's in danger, it will fight to shut down the erections. And it's really good at it. How do we know that's true? So the American Urological Association's guidelines on erectile dysfunction diagnosis actually tell us specifically that anxiety can override the injectable vasodilators and cause false positive diagnoses of ED. Think about that. The stronger, localized vasodilator that they are actually injecting directly into the penis is known to be overpowered by the vasoconstriction of anxiety. So what do you think happens to a weaker, more systemic vasodilator like Viagra, Cialis, or the supplements you've been taking? And so nitric oxide is basically a vasodilator, and the reason that increasing your nitric oxide won't work is because vasoconstriction is stronger. So if you look at what that handsome man right there is telling you, and then you have a doctor tell you erectile dysfunction is a precursor to a vascular problem, what do you think that's going to do to your fight or flight mechanism? It's going to jack it really high up. It's going to make the problem worse. And if you're like, but Cam, I don't think I have sexual anxiety. I don't think I'm in fight or flight. Let me ask you if this sounds true. You started losing erections. You weren't really sure why. Maybe it happened once. Maybe it happened a couple times in a row. But what started to happen is that you started to worry about sex before you would go into the bedroom. So instead of being excited about sex, you start thinking about, oh no, am I going to lose my erection again? Well, guess what? That's anxiety. That anxiety is triggering your fight or flight mechanism. And as long as that anxiety is present, and as long as it's triggering the fight or flight mechanism, doesn't matter how many supplements or pills that you take, that anxiety will win. Eventually, it'll overpower Viagra. Eventually, it'll overpower anything you throw at it. And so the only solution that makes any sense to improve your erection quality is to turn off the anxiety. And so if you would like help turning off the anxiety, there's a link in the description below. You can book a call with me. Let's get this sorted out so you can go back to having normal erections whenever you want, enjoy your sex life, and look forward to it again. Because having sex is one of the most fun parts of being a human. And right now, it's probably wrecking your entire life. And in a very short period of time, I can help you go from being really miserable to really happy. And so if you want that, book a call down below.